chair, grab your cup, go on the morning commute. What is Improv-A-Tea? Josh.
Hi. That changes every time. Hi, Tammy.
It doesn't change. It's about right.
There's a morning commute. Like, now they're beset to have to do this in the morning commute.
Or.
They can listen to us anytime.
You can listen to us anytime. That's why I say, like, either just pull up a chair or get your cup and go on your morning commute. One or the other. I don't care what you do.
It could be something else too. You could exercise.
Right. Or,
if you could exercise and not laugh hilariously at me. Or with me. One of the two. Because I'm making them laugh. So I'm in on the joke.
Moira and I used to sit and watch video podcasts while she ate breakfast. Before going to school.
Really?
Yeah. It was fun. So maybe you're eating breakfast.
Maybe.
Who knows? We're just here doing our Improv-A-Tea thing for you. For you. Not him.
Oh. Well, I'll be seeing you then.
No.
Okay.
You have a job to do. Remember last time we were talking?
Oh, my job is to keep you on track.
No.
Oh.
No.
Your job is to...
No. My name tag says the pretty one.
Okay.
Yours
That's
says
fair enough.
The responder. Remember?
Okay, sure.
You're the one that responds.
I'm the average Josh.
Yes.
Like average Joe, but not my name.
Right. Because your name is Josh.
No offense to Joes out there.
So.
There's one guy named Joe, but he can be offended. I don't care. I've known him for like 10 years. Probably more. I've been saying 10 years for like 10 years now. Man, I'm old.
So you've known him for 20.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you don't know him as well as you thought you did.
I do. He's annoying. No, I've known him I've known him since high school. He's fine.
You just don't care
he'll never,
his name or not.
He'll never watch this. No. He doesn't care. He won't do that for me, no. He's on a different podcast with me, and he won't watch that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's him.
Sorry.
But you should, because I'm hilarious, and yeah.
You are. And also, I'm gonna say...
That's so dismissive. You are. Okay, go ahead. But...
No, I truly mean you are. You're hilarious. And, we're hilarious together. I mean...
Oh, that's true.
You're doing that whole response.
I do need someone to play off of to be funny. Someone to make fun of. I mean, go ahead.
But I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that you need to be concerned about using his name correctly. Don't misuse his name. That's not nice.
My pal Joe?
Hashtag that's not nice.
I'm going to get a lot of that from you. That's not nice. And that's a thing that I'll say something smart alecky, and I'll just get, that's not nice. No, it's not nice. It's funny, though.
Well, I don't have the monitors now, so I can't talk about the monitors anymore. I have to talk about something else.
And here we are referring to other podcasts that you should go see.
Yes.
We're talking about things
I've watched.
But here's the thing about it. This is always someone's first go-around.
It's true.
Meeting us. So... we should actually get the whole "Hi, Tammy, hi, Josh" thing down.
We did that.
We did. We'll get better at it. I promise.
Right. We are the Gaelic Gamble. We're not the whole Gaelic Gamble.
No.
We're part of the Gaelic Gamble. What?
Nothing. You're just going to introduce us every time on there? That's...
You just said
I know.
You just said.
I know that.
Can we get to the topic tonight, Josh?
I'm waiting on you. I'm the responder. I'm not the one that keeps you on track. Remember that. You're the one that keeps yourself on track. We can... This is on recording now. We can go back and hear you say that.
Not nice.
Also, I'm an antagonizer.
Hashtag. Yeah.
But I think it's entertaining. So to get people just to tune in and watch me antagonize you, you put yourself through this too. You asked me to come here, and I don't know why people would do this to themselves.
I did. Apparently, next time I'm getting Vicky in.
Oh yeah. Oh, you already have it. She's already working to replace me. So it's been nice. It would be nice, But we do have usually a main topic. We'll get our back and forth out of the way here because we have that rapport, and then
yeah. So one of the first things that we did when we were let's go back. Let's not even start with the podcast. Let's go back to the inception of the gamble. One of the very first things when I was thinking about creating a new guild at the fair was what to name it, because the name is something that it's important. It identifies who you are. It conveys a feeling of with a friendliness and that sort of thing. So the Gaelic Gamble came really close to being something and you. EWE. Not YOU.
There's a sheep gimmick before?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You missed it. It was before your time, Josh.
Right.
Really close.
I've only been doing this with y'all for like 3 years, so...
It's true. So there were like 2 years beforehand. And then,
And whatever time you had in the other guilds. How long were you with the Renaissance Fair? And
I was with the Briarwood Players for 5 years before I created
before Gamble.
The Gamble.
Wow.
Yeah. And in that, after that 5th year, Jen and I were hashing back and forth what would happen if we created a new guild. So. Yeah.
And that broke off to become the Gaelic Gamble.
Yeah.
At the
Thankfully
and
not.
Usually when we say our name, it's like the Gaelic Gamble at the Highland Kentucky Renaissance Fair. That's kind of what wasn't that on our shirts.
Yeah.
Kind of in that
at that
respect.
time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now it's just the Gaelic Gamble or the Gamble. That's a good question. So y'all have to let us know if you're talking about us. Are you talking about us?
Why aren't you talking about us?
Why aren't you talking about us? And when you do...
So seriously, before I joined the Gamble, like the word gamble, Gambol, not in my repertoire. Never heard this before.
Yeah.
And I use words like repertoire, so I'm very... No.
Right.
No, I had never heard the word gamble before, and it's... To look it up means like it says to dance or frolic with a gaiety, right?
Yeah.
And that's like the textbook what gamble is. It's like, okay, but that's also not a noun.
So?
But it is now.
It is now.
You used it as a
noun.
noun.
Made it a noun.
Now, was that discussed when you were coming up with the name? Did you just be like, this word? Where did you get it from? Did you use the word gamble before? Like, it is such an odd word to me. Where did you get it when you named the gamble?
Well, I wanted something that would convey all the moving we were going to do, the dancing and the movement portion of our cast.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we started with the word frolic, and I don't recall. There was either we couldn't fix something with it. It didn't roll off the tongue or something. It didn't sound.
There
good.
wasn't alliteration of Gaelic gamble.
Right. So I had an app at the time that it was like a dictionary thing, and I could put in a word like frolic, and then it would give me a picture of all of these related words and etymologically how it would all play out. All these different words that were somehow associated with this one word.
And that would have been a handy thing to have around when you were trying to name the podcast a little bit ago, because that was an issue to like what... You're talking about naming things. It was hard to name this podcast.
Right. That was the other thing. So we had the gamble that we named 5 years ago. And now we're sitting here trying to come up with this name for this podcast. And it was impossibly hard. We asked.
I mean, it's not impossibly hard. You just pick something and go with it. But you want something
Sure.
You wanted to put. I mean, you wanted to have a. You wanted to have it mean something to you. You wanted to have it.
Right.
You wanted to
has
put
to have
a lot
an
into it. So that's the emphasis you're putting on a name here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Names matter. They mean stuff. They carry a lot of weight.
Like in
with
folklore, when you have the name of a demon, then you can like get rid of him and stuff.
That was on my notes.
It's
Literally
on
was on notes. I asked him.
Well, we do this thing that it's easier for me to respond to her without knowing where she's going with these notes because it's more of a real thing. It's more of a back and forth. I could read these notes and go at it with, try to steer the same way she's going, but if she kind of goes in without it and I kind of have the same thoughts and we're going in the same direction, it seems to be a better flow. Yeah. So basically, we just caught on camera the thing we do without trying.
We did it!
Yay! Good job, podcast. Bye.
Right. Bye.
We did it.
We're done.
We're done.
No, we're not done. We're not done.
Can we be?
We're
Can we just drop the mic and go and be like, we did it? Yeah. You've seen it firsthand. This is one of the things that we try to convey, basically playing back and forth and having a flow between two persons and in conversation here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we do a good job.
We just did.
We did.
Yeah, so basically it's a podcast of us patting ourselves on the back. See how I put those two words together?
That was good.
Yeah.
You did good.
Podcast.
Where was I at?
I don't know.
Names.
Yes.
It's important. Oh, the name Improv-A-Tea.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to have anything tea related in it because I've been known for tea for 10 years and I don't know. Are y'all done with that? Are you done? I like my tea still yet, but I don't
that's
know
one
if
of
it
those
was
things that as a character you went into and you can't get rid of now.
So I guess it's like branding. You know?
Yeah. If we were going to do now that as an art person here and you're liking like a branding of this podcast, there was going to be that cup. That cup was going to be on there whether you liked it or not, but you went with the name Improv-A-Tea and now that's kind of...
It's true.
Yeah, that was going to be an image possibly if I ever get around to do it.
Right. So, names matter and they convey to our audience something about us. Like, a lot of the people that know me from Fair know the tea thing, and it's like branding.
Yes.
So, it's already a connection that we have. And they know the power that they have over me just by knowing my name.
And what's your name, though?
It's probably tea. Something tea.
Well, see, that's the thing. What do they know you as? What does it say in parentheses on your Facebook page? But that's not your name of your character.
It's true.
That's what I was getting at. I was like, but that is your moniker. I mean, not, I guess, the official character of first, last name, but that's your character. It's a good wife.
That's what they call me.
Yeah, that's what I still call you.
Right.
And it's so ingrained in you from Fair and improv that sometimes it's like we're going to Good Wife's house,
right.
And this is on a Tuesday and we're not talking about anything. It's just the word Tammy escapes me and that's where my brain is.
Yeah.
I answer to Alan. I mean,
that's him.
I mean, I don't have any ill respect to it, Like, I don't hate it or anything like that, but it's just a thing, like, oh, okay.
I bet there is not a one person in our audience outside of the gamble who knows the good wife's first name. Bonus points.
Wait.
If you know the good wife's, don't say it, if you know the good wife's last name.
So, wait.
Don't say it.
I'm not saying it. I'm not going to flat out say it, but you're betting there's not anyone outside the gamble?
I bet you not.
I can tell you exactly who, and I can tell you who says it during Fair. The crier says your name, first and last name, calls you out by it. I'm sure he knows your name. He's not technically in the gamble now, is he?
That's true.
So I won the bet, right? Because
The bed is not open to members of the cast.
Oh, now we're putting stipulations on it. Sure. I know he knows your name because I've heard him say it. I'm just saying.
That's true. Now you have to make sure that he watches the podcast, Josh.
Yeah.
So,
oh, I called him out. I didn't call him out by name. I called him out by Crier because that's what people know him as.
That's right.
I don't know his last name. His character. No, I do. It took me a second. I was like, what's his character's last name? I know his first name. Okay. It took me a moment.
So,
but I had to get there because people know him as Crier.
That's right. I'm keeping track of the time. So, also...
Very professional podcast to keep track of the time.
Trying to.
No, I mean, I'm just calling you out for just mentioning it and just breaking your own
They've got to know.
Podcast.
They've got to know how important their time is to me.
They've got to know what they're dealing with here, and I'm sure that tells them.
That's pretty much it, because I get off track all the time.
Yeah.
So
maybe my job should be to keep you on track. Man, do we need a third person for a podcast to get us both on track? Because we'll get a back and forth going, and it's great for that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Sam needs to be in here for. No,
I thought that's what he was.
It's great for that back and forth like that, but see, two people when they may or may not have ADHD will just go off on random thoughts everywhere. I think it's a fun thing to watch.
Okay, but we're going to get back to the topic now.
Yeah.
So
anyways, yeah. And that's the thing. You could just knock yourself off track all day long.
So we want to make sure, we want to see how many people out there know the good wife's name, first and last.
Sure. That's a fun game.
We're going to give you that job. That was in one of the two.
She thinks, you think there's, I can name one and I know the rest of them probably do too. And I think you underestimate that. I don't know why you think no one knows that.
We'll see. Because they never call me that.
Fair enough.
And it's not on Facebook.
Took you a second to think, is it on Facebook? No.
No, I know it's not. Okay. I know it's not.
Sure.
It's not. Okay, so when you came, one of the very first questions that new cast members, new Rennies, people who are developing characters have is, what should I call myself? And they're asking me this. What should I call myself? I don't know. Call yourself whatever you want. What feels good to you? What? So.
Well, yes, but we did have a respect of saying, you can't be named that because that's way off base. We had a Gaelic name construct that we had to stay within for our group during the fair.
Right.
So, I see. So you couldn't help them with what they wanted to call themselves, but you could tell them they couldn't.
Well, why would
That's being a director.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, brought that back around.
Make a nice framework for people to
that
work
is true.
in. So why would I...
You have to name yourself your own character. You can't... I mean, you can... Like Good Wife, you can have a name that people call you, something people call you as, but you have to pick your name. I mean, you might just be that person that's the crier, the artist. You might just be the whatever. The first year of fair. So I just am an artist. That's the thing that I do. That's the thing I knew before coming to the fair. And I was not an actor. I didn't do improv. I learned that from the group and being with the group. And at the end of the first year, so in the character of Alan or whatever, I just put so I'm an artist. I just picked that out. It's the one thing I knew, right? And like at the end of the first year of fair, David, who plays David McDonald that year, he's like, people are just are going to know you as the artist. That they're going to see you, they're going to identify you with that board and that, and that's what you'll be. And I was like, I'm fine with that. And he was right. And I was like, huh. And I didn't choose that, but that's just what conveyed across from... That's from people not knowing me, from seeing me. So... And that's not learning my name, but it might lead them to...
So do people yell out, "Hey, artist"?
No. You know what, though? Here's another story. That was the first year. Third year in, I was walking past two a couple of, I'm sure, Rent-A-Her patrons that are there all the time. I didn't know them. They said something, Alan, and I was like, how do these people know my name? It weirded me out, and I understood where they got it, because we were doing something where I think I was winning a game, and people were going, Alan, Alan, and it kind of like put me over, like in the wrestling, one person puts over another in the improv that we're doing, and that's where they learned it from. So these people know me, yeah.
You're playing towers.
I was playing towers.
And we were all on this side, and we were like, Alan, Alan.
Because I was the underdog, peasant-y person versus the pompousy, noble, which that was Logan playing that part very well. Because that's what he does. Logan. He said that. He said that himself. That's his character, is to put others over, and to take the,
which he does really well.
Which he does very well, and that's. So I guess basically people know my character's name because of him, and that's. That's true. I can't take that away from him. I guess that's kind of a little bump he gave me from just playing in a game.
So how did it make you feel when you were in the middle of the game, to hear people yelling your name?
It made me play too, because if you remember, I was doing a little dance with everyone's like rhythm of my name, because and I was playing into it. Next, people are cheering me on. It's not my real name, but I'm playing that part, and people are cheering me on. Yeah. That basically my chosen name. If we're saying, I chose that name, and not thinking any of its use for anyone else. Right. Just
and you said that two people were walking by and called out your name.
They said, "Hey," I said, I believe it said, "Good day." They said, "Good day, Alan," and I was like, "Okay, how do you know me? I don't know you."
So when they said your name in passing and you didn't know them, how did it made you feel weird that they would know you?
Yeah. Because, a lot of I know we're on stage all the time at the fair, but a lot of that you don't notice. Like, if you're on stage in a play, I'm sure there's an audience sitting there looking at you. When we're just playing with each other in the fair and the improv, and it's, in 360, everyone's around and they're part of it too, you don't notice it's a stage. Well, you keep in the back of your mind that you're trying to play to a bigger stage, but you don't think of it sometimes as a stage. Sometimes I'm just playing with that guy, and we're playing a game.
You're just living.
Yeah, and we're just doing our thing, and everyone else is watching it. And that's what happened, and that was one of the things that carried on to a conversation later with people.
So, so the two different uses of your name had different effects on you. Yeah. Dale Carnegie, I wrote this quote down, and everybody out there is going to know it. Dale Carnegie said, "A person's name is to him or her the sweetest and most important sound in any language." Okay.
I've heard that before.
So...
I also have a story that will disagree with that greatly.
Oh, good.
Oh, good?
Yeah.
So on the opposite side of that, this is my fair name. This is a good, happy place. So at work, at a job that I had previously, I was a person that I guess people would come to with questions. They didn't know how to do this, and it was an ongoing thing of kept coming to me and asking questions, and it got to a point where I would hear my name and just be like, my birth given name, like, "Josh, what do you need?" And it's like I would never not answer their questions. That's why they kept coming to me, because they knew I would help them. But I'm doing my own thing, and I have to get something done, and it's just an interruption of Josh. Like, what? And I would get to this. There would always be this sigh before I'd have to gear up to switch gears to, "What do you need?" Yeah.
So you had connected, in that instance, you had connected your name coming from that person with a negative reaction.
A negative Pavlovian response to my name.
Right.
Yeah. And that's horrible.
Because it was...
Usually in that work environment, it was there. But like anywhere else, same people could say my name is different. It was just at this place, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know.
So hearing your name used over and over from this same person with the same negative energy between you. He's asking you these questions all the time. And there's a negative response attached to it for you. And what you just said was I think what you said was that it felt awful to not want to hear your name.
Yeah. To have this response to your own name, it's like, it was a product of people that would hear my name and I would have thoughts that would run through. It was always the same. In that sigh, I'd have the same thought, like, these people have been here longer than me. Why don't they know this? It was all this negative, like, I've told them this before. And then sometimes it would be a weird question that was new, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know this. When I didn't know something, I would be so happy. I didn't know this. Let's go find this out. This is something new to me. If it's not the same old, this is how you do this, this is what we're supposed to be doing, this is the answer to something you should already know, then, yeah, that was the negative that was coming out of that. I also don't work there anymore, so.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Although in this new position that I'm at, there is another person who has a lot of work in a similar type situation that it used to be, and I've heard her say, I'm going to change my name. Because she's one of those people that you'd have to ask, she was the only one you could ask this question of.
Okay.
But that happens. And
yeah. Remind me of that. We're going to take a break right now because...
you have a jumping off point that you want to go back to, but okay.
Yes.
But we're taking a break because...
First of all, we want to thank all of you for tuning in. This is our third podcast, and probably you're seeing this after we've gone to the Central Missouri Fair, and I'm sure we're having a wonderful time there.
Yes. We are. We had a great time.
We had a wonderful time. It was great. It was fantastic. We look forward to playing with them again in the spring.
I'm going to have to talk to you about movie magic to where you don't really have to tell them what time it is. They can watch this at any time.
I do.
Okay, fine.
I do.
Just spell it out for them.
It makes me feel better.
We are recording this on Friday, October... No.
We are...
They don't need to know that.
I think they will like that. So you can just chime in the comments down there and
you don't even know that.
Yes, I do.
Are there? Is there comments down there? Have you made it that far?
Yes.
I should be more involved in this, but I'm not. I just sit here and respond.
Tons of comments.
There are comments? Awesome.
Yeah.
I should go there and start commenting on how great I am.
Yes.
Hashtag he's the pretty one. What?
No, that's my label. Wait.
So first of all, you wanted to thank them.
We're thanking you for tuning in because this is the third. Yeah, it is. We want to invite you to check us out if you haven't already. Patreon. Obviously, you're already there because this video is a Patreon exclusive.
Oh,
but if you're hearing us only, if you're not seeing the video that accompanies this podcast, you'll want to go on over to Patreon and subscribe, patronize. I don't even know how to. That's another term I have to figure out.
You should have a second set of notes that you're taking during the show,
Right.
so you can look those up later.
What I need.
Actually, it's not a bad idea though.
It's not. I need a.
If you could record this and listen to it later, and then check what you needed to.
Yeah.
Oh, you should take notes while you're listening later.
I should take notes.
Yeah.
I will.
And you should take notes on like all the stuff that we do and we're telling you about in these breaks, so that you can come out and see us.
Right. So check out the Patreon page. Like us there. Do that thing. Do that Patreon thing.
And now, since we let the cat out of the bag, this is our third show, and we're.
It's not a cat. It's not a secret.
But Patreon is newer, and we're getting going on that, and it'll evolve and change as the show will. It'll get better. She'll get better co-host. Apparently, she's already working on it. And
just to give you a break, Josh.
Please.
It's true.
Hashtag needs a break.
Also, we have auditions coming up. January 12th. Look at it. Look, make sure. Double check me, Josh. Double check me.
Because I have to write it down.
It's a Saturday. January is that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, look, Gamble auditions, January 12th.
January 12th. If you are interested in auditioning for the Gamble, we have 2 spots that are open.
I'm helping.
You're helping?
Yeah, you can't see me doing this pantomiming thing on the podcast. But
if you're only listening, you can't see what he's doing, and
it's just mocking her. Although you could see me visually mock her. That would be... That's a thing. You should sign up for that to see me visually mock her, as I also do verbally. Go ahead.
Come out for auditions August 12th. If you need more information on that, comment down below or send me a message on Facebook or,
And you should come play with the Gamble.
Right. Come play with us. Even if you don't think you can join the cast or you are questioning whether or not you have room in your schedule, come on out and audition and play around with us for a day and try it on and see what you like.
That's true. They could actually, instead of trying to figure out what we're about on here, come see what we're about.
Yeah.
And then
give it a shot,
And then they might keep you and then make you do a podcast. I mean, ask you to do a podcast.
I didn't make you do anything.
No, you don't. Unfortunately, I do all this of my own free will.
That's true.
That says a lot about me, too.
Yep.
I don't know what.
Is that all? I don't think we have anybody to thank.
No.
Because this no.
And you could thank that guy for saying that thing that he said, but I don't know.
Oh, Dale Carnegie.
Is that guy important?
Thanks, Dale Carnegie.
Does he have something to do with the hall that's Carnegie Hall?
I'm just going to move on.
Fine.
Just going to move on.
Moving on.
Back to topic.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to remind you of that thing that you wanted me to remind you about.
Do you remember what it was?
No. Oh, well. Next topic. No, there was a person that I worked with that she had mentioned that she wanted to change her name because people asking her constantly for... And she's very nice about it, and there's very things that are needed, but she's kind of puts herself in being the person that is the only one that can do that.
You know who else frequently says, I'm going to change my name?
Who says that?
Moms. Moms say that all the time. Right, moms?
Yeah, but Moms is not the name that they
I'm
call you.
going to change my name.
But your name's not Mom. It's just like Good Wife is not your actual moniker. I guess your name's Mom. I mean, they call you Mom. I guess that's your name.
He's trying to take things away from me.
I'm not. I'm just pointing out, grammar and proper nouns.
Well, but it is my name. It is my name to my children.
You need to subscribe to Patreon to see the looks that I give her. Because I can't verbalize them.
You mean the looks that I ignore?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You don't understand how Mom
No,
can be
I get it. I understand.
Let's ask your mom, Annette.
See, the ridiculousness in that sentence. Let's ask your mom her name.
No.
Let's ask your mom Annette if Mom is her name.
Josh, if you were with us like 1 or 2 podcasts ago, you will recall that I found out what his mom's name was.
That was during the podcast?
I don't know.
That was not during the podcast. That was just a conversation that we have. Now you're going to
make it was live. Maybe it was a live feed, in which case those are freely available on the Gaelic Gamble page.
It's like you're going to make them go back and
Facebook.
watch the other podcast looking for something that's not there?
Yes.
That's actually kind of genius. Do that. It's in the first podcast. Or the second one. I can't remember.
Or
the other feed. 2. This is the third one.
Look at them all.
We're going to stop talking over each other now.
But I remembered your mom's name.
You did.
And that
It's not Mom.
But it is to you.
Right.
And it is to your brother. And she responds to you when you call her that. How does she respond if you don't call her Mom?
Usually, okay, at this point in my life, it's usually like, Mom, Annette. Then she hears me. Because that's, my mother is also a person in her job to where a lot of people probably come looking for her, and she has a response to her name that gets her attention probably more so than Mom at this point. But she will never stop responding to Mom. And I get your point on that. But if I were to look at my brother and say, hey, if you were to ask my brother what our mother's name is, he's going to say Annette. He's not going to respond with Mom.
Okay.
I don't know that my own mother would say that her name is Mom. The funny part is
I bet they will. I bet you would. No?
We're arguing semantics.
Okay, well,
on a
here's the
podcast, and it is semantics. And I know what you're getting at. Go ahead with your point. I'll concede this ridiculousness to you.
I would respond to Mom.
Okay.
I would respond to Good Wife. I would respond to Tammy. Those are all my names. Those are all my labels. They all matter to me, and they're all distinct. I have four different character names.
Fair enough.
And most of the people out here only know me as Good Wife.
Right. The Good Wife.
If I don't respond to Good Wife as if it were my name, they would lose a connection.
That's true. And so that's what you're getting. And I didn't want to rob you of your point, because if someone other than your child was calling out Mom, are you going to answer?
Happens.
You have answered to that.
Yep.
All right, I back right off that point. You win, because I cannot understand that.
Now,
I don't have children.
All you moms who are watching, go down there in the comments and leave them for him and tell him if you've heard that kid in the store holler out, Mom! And you go, what? Tell him.
Oh.
It's a name.
I will concede this. I will back off this because I don't understand it. I don't have children. I don't know. I know you're doing a victory dance here. That doesn't pick up on the podcast.
Yeah, I did. I did do that.
I'm just saying.
Hands up in the air.
Possibly you've been called this so long. I mean, I answer to Alan. I understand that you've been called this so long that the word that gives you a response. Mm-hmm. It is a response in your brain. You might not answer to it because that's not my kid, but you think it will click that button in your brain to make you look,
and it makes you feel a certain way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Like the person in your office who says your name.
I will give you that much.
Even though you like your name, you don't like hearing your name said by that person. Much like probably you don't like hearing your name said in that tone by your mom, whose name is Annette.
I know when
Josh.
Okay, I'll give you another one. I know when I'm in trouble, it's first middle name.
Yeah.
That's when you're in trouble.
That's when you're in trouble.
And I know that people that ask my middle name for whatever reason want to do that so they can use that on me for when I'm in trouble.
What's your middle name, Alan?
What's my Alan middle name? I haven't made that one up yet. So, But my middle name is Dale. So I'll get
Josh Waddell.
Yeah, somebody thought my name was Josh Waddell, Josh Waddel, because my dad has a slur and it's Josh Waddell. Yeah, that's Kentucky for you.
Yeah.
But it's Joshua
You
Dale.
didn't appreciate that, did you?
What's that?
If other people think that your name is Josh Waddell.
Did I didn't appreciate that?
Right.
Oh.
From other people.
I didn't get offended by it when someone thought that. So that's another thing you're going to do. People get offended when you get their name wrong, eh?
Yes. Have you ever been?
Okay.
Have you ever been? Do you know the conversation that people have with how to spell their name? And there's a lot of people, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't expect to have your name spelled correctly.
How do you spell Alan?
But I never know. Sometimes I spell it Allan, and sometimes I spell it Alan, and sometimes I spell it Allen.
I know.
Yeah.
Just pick one and be wrong if you want, but I spell it Alan, and I do, and I like it that way. It's like at first year maybe I pick a name, and I answer to it, which is a weird thing because you think, how am I going to answer to this name? You when you first do it, you think, how am I going to answer? This is not my name. It's like a hard thing to do. You think it's going to be a hard thing. You think, oh my God, how can I answer to this? This is not really my name. How can I keep this? What if someone says it to me and I miss it? And you don't. That's not even a thing. It doesn't. You get so conditioned to it from mostly the improv and the games, and I see why we go at one point during a rehearsal and say that, okay, only names, only fair names, and you get so used to it that it extends past fair, and like you could possibly just see another Rennie out there and just holler for them, and then have to switch to their other name, and they might look up to that one.
Right.
You just have to go on the list.
Yeah. Which name are they going to
Good wife.
Like?
Mom! Then she looks up. Really? Really?
Right. But
I'm still fighting that one. Go ahead.
Well, maybe it's because you're not a mom.
And here's the thing. Yeah. Someone said one time the smart remarks that I don't say on here because they're trying to be all good and nice. You just feed them to me sometimes. And anyways.
It's my job.
There is a...
No, I have 2 jobs.
Talking about disrespect, basically.
Right. Disrespect
being a tool if you want to disrespect someone is not knowing their name or saying their name wrong on purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, if I called you, instead of called you Tam or Tammy, you always said Pamela, Pam, or something like that. You could also use that, and I think possibly let's go back to Logan. His character, someone just calls people peasant. He doesn't know their name. He's above that, and that's part of the
Right. Yeah.
I answered peasant, but
right.
I don't get offended by that.
We like that name.
Usually that means money. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Him and I have worked out this whole thing. It's like, oh, he must be wanting something that I can make money from. It's
Yeah. You got a thing worked out.
Yeah. That happens. And that's from not having a name. So,
That's from
not having a name. From him not knowing my name.
Oh, yeah.
To,
oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, because he didn't know your name, you worked it into a little skit thing.
Sure.
Or you're getting money from nobility. Wow. That's a racket.
Yeah.
How'd you manage that?
Yeah, sometimes I would lean in if we were playing with other people. Say, I would be like, I'm not really on his side. If you offer me money, I'll just switch sides on him in 2 seconds. And it's never come up, but I want that to happen. Well, she paid me more, so,
Mercy.
Yeah.
Right. So, we've been talking about purposefully picking a new name for our characters for fair. I kind of wonder a little bit if there are anybody in our audience who has actively changed their name in real life. And why do we do this?
I know of a person in our group that has. I won't mention names, but I believe it's because they associate their name with that bad feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And thus they go by their middle name, which actually Annette is my mother's middle name.
Oh, okay.
So it's not actually her first name. So it's a thing that's, they want to be known as something different, Or sometimes, possibly, like this is a thing where there's a junior or a senior, so maybe they go by the word junior, or they go by a middle name because they don't want to, live in a shadow, I guess you would say, or just be, to cut back on confusion because it's the same name. Things like that. So it's kind of, I guess the word disassociating. You're trying to get away from what that other name means to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of like ownership in a way. I'm going to, I want to be this. This is my stamp on my life, and I'm going to own it.
Yes.
I'm going to own who I am.
I guess that you could say that's a way to take control of it. So, yeah. I mean, some people change their name because they get married. Mm-hmm. Some people keep that name even if they get divorced. Some people keep that last name. Right. The wife will keep that last name. Some change it back. Right. It's what they want to do. I mean,
when I got divorced, I kept my last name. And at the point, I remember vividly thinking through this process. Not only do I have young children at the time who would have to deal with a mom with a different last name than theirs if I changed my name back. But also, I had spent 16 years in marriage to this person, and this was my name. This was just as much me as it was them, because there was another 6 years before the 16 married. I felt more like that. I didn't feel more like that than my maiden name, but it was so much a part of me that I didn't. Dropping it and going back kind of would have been a ignoring who I had grown to be in those years. And in another instance, like probably a horrible instance, like not even a divorce, but if someone's a widow, they might want to keep that last name just as being a part of it, and also have, like you said, having been that person for that long, and that's just my name now. Right. Yeah. And that also brings up the whole marriage thing, the hyphenated names. Ah, yeah. I don't want to leave behind who I was then, but I also want to take his name. Right. Right. I also want to take my spouse's name, so I'm going to just stack them together. I'm going to hyphenate. I'm going to keep both of them.
Yes, I think they talked about it when this was my friend and he was younger. When he was going to have a kid, they were going to have two middle names, and one was going to be Thorn because of The Hobbit. Okay. I don't know that that's a thing, and now that this kid's 18, I need to ask him because I know him. I said, "What's your middle name, man?" It just never came up. But yeah, that was the thing. So also people people name their kids sometimes around fantasy things. Like I know this woman who named her daughter off of a sci-fi show where there was
maybe two daughters.
Both of them. Okay. Because they like the name off something like that. It's like you grow a fandom and I guess an appreciation for that name from hearing it from something that you have a passion and love for. So there's an influx now of many people having the name Khaleesi from, and that's not even her name in the show. That's just her title. Who
else goes by a title?
Yeah,
that is a name.
So now I've set you up perfectly to compare yourself with Khaleesi, the mother of dragons. Wow, you're welcome for one, and I'm sorry for two.
Yes. Yes. All right. So we've decided we've figured out that names convey ownership of oneself. It's a way to show respect to a person, or not to
or
show
disrespect for
disrespect. It's recognition. It's how
Yes.
we identify ourselves, and it's how we identify other people. There's also this
okay.
this attitude that we feel depending on who it is that's using our name.
Okay.
And how often.
I was going to say, depending on which name we're using, because a lot of the characters, some of the actors at the Renaissance Fair say, I'm this person today, and that person acts very different from this other character. Mm-hmm. So that's also an attitude that they're putting out there, being completely different because they're in this character right now.
Yeah.
Now, I believe Good Wife might be a tad Tammy, but...
oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, when I was starting out in the fair, the idea was to build your character off of who you actually were. Because it's easier to play that.
Well,
just ramp it up 100%.
And that's my character too, but I do believe that as you progress into acting and things like that, when you have another character, when you branch off, like the next one could be a little bit different because then you're trying new things and you're a little bit different than that.
Growth.
And I think that's where that comes from when you have switched a character and say, I don't want to be the exact same character. This is a different person, so why don't I act a little bit different?
Right.
Or it could just be the same person in a different situation. Mm-hmm. And then there's that.
Yeah. I have, like I said, 4 different characters with 4 different names, and to a large degree, they're all Tammy.
Which one's the loudest?
Doing different things.
Which one's the loudest? Is it Mom?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just wondering.
How'd you know?
I just checking.
Which also happens to be the Good Wife, so.
Which also happens to be Tammy. They're all pretty loud.
Actually.
Oh, God. Actually, where's that going?
The belly dancer's name is Sela.
Okay.
And it's
right.
It's something, shoot. If I'm remembering correctly, it has something to do with a lowered voice. And
like octave?
No. Volume-wise.
Like whispering?
Not whispering so much. It's I'll have to go back. I'll look for it again, and I'll put it in comments or something down there. But yeah, it tickled me when I picked it because there were a couple of different meanings to the name, and that was one of them. This idea of a diminutive voice.
I'll say is an idea of being quieter in music. Is that where it came from? Like a musical?
Yeah.
I don't know the term right off the top of my head, but I think I know what it is.
So it tickled me. I picked it on purpose because it was so...
Let me ask you this. As we're on the topic of names, and we touched it earlier, and then I don't know how we're going to get back to it without just jumping track and going to it. The whole demon power, there's folklore where a lot of getting rid of a demon or controlling a demon, you had to know its actual name. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a Rumpelstiltskin type story. So what did you have about that? Did you have further into that? Or
No. It was just that.
That it had power, like magical power, in some senses of the form.
I think all of the... it's just that. The use of a name is a very powerful thing. If I know that, I had someone comment recently on how I will go into restaurants and will refer to the wait staff by name if I can. And it's just a way to elevate the person that I'm looking at as somebody else and not staff.
Is that a fair thing that you've picked up, or is that something you've done before that?
It's something that I learned to do better because of fair.
Okay, I can see that because we do that a lot at fair because I don't know. I guess if you're a younger person and you're seeing the character come up to you, so like I don't know that Mickey and them can talk in in the heads and stuff at Disneyland, but if they were to come up and your character was there and you were happy to see them and they said your name, you'd be like, oh, they know my name. And it's like, yeah, you just told them your name, but...
Right.
Yeah.
This person is saying my name.
It is a thing that elevates you, and also if it's a waitstaff, you want them to be on your good side because you don't want them to spit in your food.
Well,
but that's...
besides that, I mean, no, you don't want them to. But also...
Unless you're like that.
Feel,
I mean, we're not saying that...
Don't be like that. This is a show about elevating people and being better and communicating and doing all the things that make us better human beings.
Well, even a lot of communication, if you talk about in jobs with another person, it's a respect too. I'm going to say, if you say Mr., Mrs., last name, that's a sign of respect. Some people get weird about that because they say, no, that's my father or that's my mother.
Right.
That's the response usually. No, that's because they respect them and they're kind of putting themselves down a little bit by saying that. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, okay, Tim.
It's a hierarchy.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't know your dad, Tim, but I'll call you Tim if you want me to. Right. Something like that.
Yeah. They've just given you permission to use their name instead of Mr.
Basically, don't call me.
Which is a very nice thing for them to do.
But saying the name, and also I work in a pharmacy, you have to say the name. Uh-huh. You have to identify who you're talking to, or any medical field, basically. Saying that kind of confirms them and then makes them feel better that they know who you are, or you know who they are, rather. And, I mean, you haven't known each other for 20 years, but, okay, you know me well enough to say my name. Mm-hmm. Even though half the time I'm cheating and reading it off something because I can't recall. But that doesn't matter because I'm using it.
That's right. That's right. And if you use it over and over and over again, you'll eventually remember it.
Yeah.
That was the other, that's like a trick, If you
practice something that you'll get better at it and remember it. Yeah.
Haven't you ever heard of that? If you go into a party.
I know, but that's not like a trick. It's just... Oh, okay. If you go into a party,
it's a tool that a lot of
like
people
a social
don't
tool.
know.
Well, see, I'm not good at socializing either. So go ahead, tell me. You were saying if you go into a party,
if you walk into a party where you're meeting new people all the time,
okay,
they tell you their name. Use their name. Then use their name 2 or 3 times throughout the evening, and it'll solidify their name in your mind.
That's fair, but that's also weird. Sometimes you gotta throw it in there. I mean, if you've been talking to this person for a minute,
it has to be genuine. Don't do it all in 1 minute. Don't use their name 3 times in the same minute.
What I was getting at also with the work things, sometimes maybe like some higher ups, maybe administration, they'll talk to you like that, and it seems like they're talking down to you when they're using your name.
Right.
And it's because of the way they use your name, because it's like not a genuine thing. It feels weird that they're saying it. It feels like they need to say it for some... And it kind of gives you a weirdness. And I bet that... I don't know. You can tell me. I bet that happens to women a lot when guys are trying to hit on them and they use their name like that.
I don't have people hit on me. Sorry.
See, let's just bring this podcast down. But you can speak. I can't speak as a woman. Sorry. I can't do it. But that has to happen, and that has to be weird. And there's a way to...
There are nuances.
Yes.
You have to be in the moment with what you're doing. If you legitimately want to know this person's name or have a purpose, use their name. Don't, if you repeat their name too often in a short span of time and really with no purpose other than to just stick their name in, it can be seen as manipulative.
Yeah. That seems like when you're being, I guess, quote unquote, talked down to by
Yes.
an administrative or something like that. That seems that feeling that you get that I feel when they use my name multiple times.
It's also, I saw somebody the other day had mentioned that they didn't like being referred to as honey or sugar or something like that by somebody that doesn't know them.
Yeah.
A clerk or whatever. And I agree. I don't that goes all through me. It's a pet peeve.
And there is, and I'm not.
It's too intimate.
Well, there's also that both genders use it, like from, I'm guessing a different age group, but just to say, hey, honey, or hey, like, sweetie, on the phone, something like that that's ingrained in them too.
Yeah. Right.
Not even a creepy way, just a 2-second on the phone, or I'm sorry, honey. Like we had a person I worked with, and they brought that up to her, and they said some people don't like being called that, and like they had no knowledge of it being used as anything, but just not knowing the person's name. Like, hey bud, hey pal, something like that.
That doesn't sound very nice.
No, it doesn't.
That.
No, it does not.
So,
Yeah.
listen to your audience. Refer to them in a way that will help you make a connection, because that's actually what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
When you're using somebody's name, you're trying to make a connection in some way, shape, or form. So be attuned to your audience.
So you're saying that as we do it at the fair, it's kind of more of a real thing when we're doing make-believe, because we are trying to connect to that person.
Absolutely.
And, not in character, you might see this person on the street and be like, hey, it's so-and-so. I can't think of a name right now. Irony.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I've developed some friendships with folks outside of fair that I only knew inside of fair, because, we started using each other's names, basically. You see each other on Facebook.
Which is a wonder, because you're horrible at names.
I'm horrible at names. I'm absolutely terrible at names.
You are not great at names.
Facebook is really helpful because.
But you make a big deal about it. You do the way you don't know that person's name. When you see them, I've seen this interaction from you. Like, don't tell me. I'll get it. You try, and then you fail. You want to know their name. Right. And it just escapes you, and then they tell you, and then you're like, that's right. And then you go back into where you met them in the fair, and you had this connection.
It's helpful too. Yeah. It's all about
So
connection.
you make it a thing, not knowing their name, and it's not disrespectful because the way you put it out there.
Yeah. I think that's got some good meat to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing to do.
So your point in this whole name thing here is it's just a powerful thing any way you cut it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
It's a connection, and it's powerful, and use it well.
Use it well. That's fair enough.
Use it well. So that's it. Next time we will talk about your first improv troupe.
Oh, you had a breath there, and that scared me. I didn't know where you were going with that. Your first improv troupe.
Your very first. Your training improv group.
That still scares me a little bit because I don't know where you're going with that. But
so check in for that.
Yeah, check in for that.
Bye.
Bye.